Hey guys, Shane here from Genesis Offroad. Welcome back to the podcast where we're going to be answering your questions that you have about our dual battery systems and giving you a deeper answer than what we can usually provide over email or over the phone to help you guys get a better understanding of our products, help you learn how to use your vehicle, and get the most out of our products. With me, as always, Mr. Brad Chester, going to bring some of the topics to us today. And Brad, what are we going to be talking about?
So today, since it is SEMA week. SEMA is wrapping up today, so I figured we'd kind of go over some of what we saw from afar since we weren't there, some of the headlines, and see what caught our attention from not being at the actual show.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that we're not at the SEMA show this year. It's I hate to miss it, but we go every once in a while, but I haven't been out there since 2021.
Well, I've never been there. So I'm really excited to one day get to be there, because watching all the videos from the week I can honestly say I was experiencing some FOMO.
Yeah, that's pretty common. I think I think there's a lot of people sitting at home watching all the videos coming out on YouTube and seeing the cool rigs and everything out there.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start with, what is SEMA? Like, why did it start?
Yeah, so if you want to start from the beginning, SEMA is the Specialty Equipment Market Association. It's basically the industry trade association for all the companies in the automotive aftermarket.
Okay. So is that anybody that makes parts for vehicles? Is that who's included in that, or what?
Yeah, so that's going to include all the companies that make the aftermarket parts like us, and the people that make the bumpers and turbos and all kind of equipment that goes onto your vehicle, right? Wheels and tires. But it also includes a lot more than that. It's also everybody in the truck and Jeep accessory market, plus the hot rod industry, all the hot rod parts, car care equipment like Meguiar's and Mother's, polishes and car cleaning equipment, all that kind of stuff for the detailers. And it's also the tools like Milwaukee, DeWalt, those kind of tool companies will be there, but also some of the bigger tool companies like tire balancing machines and alignment machines for your tire and mechanic shops too.
Okay, so what's the main purpose of the show? If all of these people are going to be there, why would someone go to the show?
Yeah, so the whole point of the SEMA show is for the manufacturers to show off their products to the buyers. The buyers meaning the dealers. So your local truck and Jeep accessory stores, your local hot rod shop, those guys that work at those retail stores go to the SEMA show to see the new products, to connect with the manufacturers and decide which products that they want to carry in their store. So it's a way for the buyers to connect with the manufacturers like us. So a company like us that makes dual battery systems, those types of companies are there showing off their new products. It's also the real popular place for the companies to show off their brand new products that they've been working on all year. There's a lot of new product launches. And in fact, they have the SEMA show has an enormous area that's just lined with tables that shows all the new products there. There's usually around 3,000 new products on display. So the buyers, the people that are working at the stores, they can go through and just take a look at every one of the new products that are launching at the SEMA show for the year.
So it's less about, selling to a customer, more about selling to these distribution sites and stores.
That's right. So it's not really generally open to the public. It's not a show like Jeep Beach or Easter Jeep Safari or something like that, or even Offroad Expo in California,
right?
Where it's for the consumers to come in and see the products. This is for the industry people to do business, and it's a business-to-business trade show.
Okay, that's cool. Well, it looks like a massive show. I mean,
yeah,
it's held in Vegas, so nothing is small there. So
yeah. It's a massive show. That's right. The show itself is about 1.2 million square feet of convention center space.
Golly.
And then there's another 1 million square feet of vehicles and booths out in the parking lot. So it sprawls out into a massive parking lot. This year they've got the Hoonigan burn yard where they're doing the racetrack out in the parking lot, doing burnouts and drifting around in the parking lot. But there's thousands more vehicles outside than there is inside too.
Goodness. Well, it looked like there were some really cool builds just from watching some videos online. Like it feels like a lot of companies or people will, go crazy on their vehicles to get them in the show.
Yeah, I think one of the good things about SEMA is it's a great way for the custom car builders to show off their skills.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of the companies, like let's say we're talking about one of the paint companies, right? All right, you're John Kosmowski from House of Color. You want to show off your paint, right? You're going to get one of the custom car builders to build an incredible vehicle to put in there in your booth and say, look at this cool car that has our paint on it. Or you're a tire company, you want to have a really wild vehicle to show off your tires. So yeah, that's why the companies like to bring in vehicles from the car builders to show off their products.
Well, and from the looks of it, it looks like the company's like wild builds. Like it's not just your typical like things that you would see at Jeep Beach where it's like, oh, that's a really cool vehicle. These are almost like concept level vehicles.
Yeah, some of them get pretty wild, and I think that's part of the strategy for the companies. SEMA is known for the over-the-top builds, the outrageous, outlandish, the completely impractical. And that's really a strategy. It's a marketing thing, right? It's all about marketing. It's to get eyeballs, which I get that. A lot of the vehicles out there are way over the top and completely impractical for any normal purposes. But it's partly to show off, the builders' skill sets. Because they're some amazing craftsmanship to go into some of them. Some of them are not so much craftsmanship. We like to pick on some of the big lifted trucks on the giant suspension and the humongous wheels with no drive shafts.
Yeah,
because they can't possibly drive those giant things around.
Right.
But there is a lot of work that goes into them. And if you're into that kind of thing, you're really into it, and that's cool. That's great. There's something there for everybody. But I get it. A lot of the companies want to have the most outlandish vehicles in order to get the eyeballs and the pictures, and sometimes the craziest stuff gets the most attention. But for me, I like to see the more practical stuff. I like to see the vehicles that are showing the products that are actually for sale. And I think this year, probably, I think a little bit more so this year than what I've seen in the past, is a lot of vehicles that are showing very practical vehicles. A lot of good Jeep builds, a lot of good Toyota builds. The new 4Runner has been really popular. The Land Cruiser has been popular out there. But there's still a lot of Jeeps at the SEMA show too. There's still, SEMA is still dominated by Jeeps and, Wranglers and Gladiators too.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is I saw a lot of Jeeps, yes, but then a lot of Toyotas and a lot of Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new GX 550. I feel like I saw that in several booths.
Yeah, those have been really popular. We've been seeing builds on the GX 550 all year.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. I think the older GX 460, 470 was somewhat popular. We used to get some questions from customers about that, if our 4Runner kit would fit in the GX series vehicles.
Because they're very similar.
Very, very similar to, if just pop the hood on the previous gens, it looks very, very similar, but they're just a little bit too small to fit our battery kit in there.
I gotcha.
But the new 550 has been really popular.
Yeah. Well, I saw one. It was a quite funny story because I saw a guy post a picture of his, I think it was a GX 550, and he was calling on Optima because his battery had died at the show because he was in a lighting booth and he left his lights on all day at the show. Well, obviously that killed his battery. And so I almost wrote back, hey, you need a dual battery system for this because with a push a button, you'll be off and running.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have anything for the Lexus vehicles right now. But
that's what stopped me.
We'll throw the juice box in.
That's what stopped me. But yeah. Well, while we're on the subject, let's talk about what Toyota brought. Toyota was there. I feel like they had a few headlines. Let's start with the Tacoma H2 Overlander, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah, wasn't that cool? That's a really nice overland build on a Tacoma platform. But the cool thing was they put a hydrogen fuel cell in that thing. It's all completely powered by the hydrogen, which sounds like science fiction, but actually, I don't know if most people probably don't know this, but Toyota has a production vehicle with a hydrogen power plant, the Toyota Mirai, or however you pronounce that. Nice looking 4-door sedan, but the problem with hydrogen right now is there's only a handful of hydrogen fueling stations in California, and that's about it. But I thought it was a great concept.
Yeah, I mean, 547 horsepower in that thing. Like,
and something like a 24,000 kilowatt hour fuel cell power system. They say it can charge 2 EV vehicles at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
So
which would be very cool.
Yeah. I mean, you could power your whole house off of this thing for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, and then all the water it only outputs water, and then you can reuse that water while you're out overlanding.
Yeah. So it looked like they had a water collection system on it and a little hose in the bed for, washing off your boots or taking a shower or something. That's pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know if I'd want to shower in it, but maybe. I don't know. It seems like a really cool concept. Well, and then they also had I feel like they brought back the Scion, but in a totally different capacity.
So, yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. They brought back the Scion name. The Scion car brand went away back in 2016. So it's kind of cool that they brought the name back, but it's a side-by-side. But it's actually powered by a hybrid Tacoma engine. So it's the whole power plant out of a hybrid Tacoma on a side-by-side platform. That's pretty cool.
Man, that's got to be so much fun to drive.
It's like 350 horsepower or something like that.
Yeah.
That thing's going to rip.
If they need test drivers, they could just let us know.
Yeah, we'd be glad to help.
I mean, I would be happy to try it out.
Yeah, but I love seeing the big automakers getting into the side-by-side game. They haven't said that they're actually going to put that into production. Maybe it was just a marketing thing, but it was maybe just to get a little feedback. Is this something that people would like? I would love it. I would love to see more of the big automakers get into the side-by-side market, just OEM level quality of the vehicles, especially from Toyota. I mean, I would love it.
Yeah. Well, and the look of that one had such a good, like, Overlander. You could tell it was, decked out with, it had some Molly panels on it. Even like the front, the light bar on the front was really cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I just felt like they did a great job with the overall design of it. So I hope it does hit production. I
hope so. And I hope we need to keep an eye on them. I'd like to see some of the other automakers get into it. I know Honda has the side-by-side market, but they're pretty big. They're basically like a 4/5 scale of a SUV.
Yeah.
The Honda side-by-sides, but I love seeing Toyota jump into it. I'd love to see Ford and Chevy get into it.
Yeah, so I would love to see like Jeep get into that. Like, what do you think that would look like?
Well, I would imagine it'd kind of look like the Vanderhall Brawley. Have you seen that one?
No.
So it's a side-by-side, but it looks like it's literally like a 4/5 scale sized small vehicle. But
crazy.
You have to put up some pictures of the Brawley.
Okay.
I've heard they've had some quality issues. I don't know exactly all the details of it, but it's an all-electric side-by-side platform.
Okay.
It looks really, really cool. It looks like an OEM, automobile with glass windows in it. But it looks pretty cool. But I hope they can, deal with some of their quality issues and get that thing improved. I love seeing all the improvements in the side-by-side industry.
Yeah. Well, moving on from the car makers, what else did you see that got your attention at the show?
Well, aside from the vehicles and the products, one of the cool things at SEMA was neither. It was the Method Race Wheels booth. I was
gonna bring that up. Just from a respect from a marketing level, that's major props to them for their new campaign. I think they're calling it Beyond the Box.
Beyond the Box. That's what a great campaign. So they had a trophy truck made out of cardboard. So even the wheels and tires were completely made out of cardboard. So I was just thinking, imagine the conversation over there at the Method Race Wheels office. If the boss is like, okay, guys, you guys get everything packed up and ready to go for SEMA. Which wheels are we going to be displaying at SEMA this year? We got the trailer all packed up. And the marketing guy goes, how about we just don't show any wheels and we just have cardboard wheels at the SEMA show?
Yeah. And then I saw that they even won, like, I think they were introducing some new wheels, and they won like a SEMA award for their new wheels. But I'm like, I don't even know if they displayed them in their booth. But that was really cool. It was really cool. I mean, it definitely got a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention. Several people online were like, this is the best build of the show because it was so different, right?
Yeah.
And it was just made from their boxes.
It was pretty clever display.
But yeah, definitely a good concept of an idea of, it's more than just the product that's inside the box. It's what you can do with it, what you're going to be able to do. And we talk about that, with our marketing all the time is it's not just the thing that's under the hood. It's the adventure that you're going to get to have now that, you have this peace of mind.
That's pretty clever. So, of course, there's lots of new products being shown off at SEMA. One thing that caught my eye was the double-decker rooftop tent. Did you see that? It's an electric extending rooftop tent, but then there's another one on top of that, like a second-story rooftop tent.
That's interesting.
Interesting. I saw one guy was doing a walking around review on that, and he was saying they should have put one on top of the cab too. They had one on the bed of a truck. They should have put another one on the cab. It had like a 4-room apartment complex on top of their truck.
Yeah, on top of the truck. That's hilarious. I think that was a forged 4x4.
Yeah,
they did some really good videos. So
yeah, that guy had a bunch of good videos. He was doing like all the Jeeps at SEMA, all the Toyotas at SEMA, all the overland vehicles at SEMA. So I like his videos. He did a good job.
Yeah. So y'all go give him some love and watch his videos, because we relied, just us being here in our office, we relied, on those people just like y'all did. And so it was really good to be able to have people on the ground. And then I did have some friends that were there that I was texting back and forth of just seeing what they were seeing. And it was a lot of the same stuff that was being broadcast online.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of new products out there. ARB was launching a new winch. That's kind of cool. ARB's never had a winch before. So interesting to see how the reviews look on that thing. Synergy has got some new axle swap components for the Jeeps. Steer Smarts has got new suspension components. Steer Smarts always made really good stuff. There's a new traction board. Did you see the traction board similar to the Max Trax, but it like folds up into a little carry storage crate? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's from Rock Tamers, I think it was.
Rock Tamers.
Which I've never heard of them before, but that was really cool.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can get multi-use out of that. That's what I love about, companies are out there thinking like, what can we do different?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Instead of just mounting your traction board on the side of your roof of your bed rack or something like that, it's actually more functional. You could use it as a little storage container. That's pretty cool.
Right. Now, you don't look as cool doing that, but I saw a tent that caught my attention because it was so different. It was like a tent that you put in your trailer hitch, and then it kind of unfolds, and it's got legs that go on the ground, so you can sleep like that. So it's like a rooftop tent, but on the ground kind of version, and then it rolls back up, and then you're already hooked up, and you go.
Yeah, it just goes right into your receiver hitch.
Yeah.
And that's smart. I mean, I bet that's really going to be really good for people that don't want to climb a ladder up to the top of their vehicle.
And if they're not going over, obviously if you're rock crawling over some serious obstacles, that may get in the way back there. Mm-hmm. But if you're not, and you're just going out for the weekend, that's probably a lot easier than trying to get a rooftop tent on and off.
Well, it's also a great idea if you're going to be at one campsite for, some extended period of time and you want to go out trail riding every day. It's kind of a pain to fold your whole rooftop tent down and pack up all your bedding and everything. And then, you're driving around on the trails with that, making the vehicle a little extra top heavy.
Right.
So that'd be nice to just leave the tent all set up with your sleeping gear and pillows and everything, right? At your campsite.
Yep. And then the other thing that I saw is obviously, I think all the lighting companies introduced new lights. So,
yep, Rigid's got some new stuff. Baja's got some new stuff. There's a bunch of new lighting vendors out there. So that's a big industry.
Yeah, I saw Diode Dynamics came out with like a chase light that it can do like all the different flashings and stuff like that, which is, I guess, a new concept. Which I was a little bit surprised by. Like, why hadn't anyone done that before?
Yeah, but Rigid keeps on pushing the envelope on their stuff. They've got new ones where you can the lens is interchangeable. So in the past, you would buy a Rigid like the little Rigid cube lights that had the reflectors, lenses inside there for like a driving pattern or a flood pattern or a spot pattern. But now they have the lenses that are interchangeable. You can swap that out for make them multi-purpose. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and their new ones also were like by color. You could change them from like 6,000 Kelvin white to, I can't remember, it was like 2,400 like amber.
Amber. Yeah, in the past you had to snap a lens onto their lights to make them amber color, which is good for dust and rain conditions. So that's kind of cool. I think it was like an on-off switch that would
something like that
change the color.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
Which is, that was great. So a lot of new technologies coming out. from the industry.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see more of what's coming out from the SEMA show, one channel that I liked was Dirt Road Cred. They had a really good walk around at the SEMA show. Also, Trail Recon was there, doing a walk around and seeing what was new. The TFL channel, TFL Truck and TFL Offroad, those guys were out there doing lots of walk around. So you'll check those guys out. And I hate that we weren't out there to walk around ourselves and bring you live coverage from the show, but there's a couple channels that we like, so we like to give those guys a plug.
That's right. We were busy here working on new products for y'all, so
yes.
Don't hate us too much for that.
Yes, we are. We got a lot of stuff going. And it just felt like, it was more important for us to be here, making progress on our new products. And so watch for some more announcements on that coming real soon.
That's right. All right. Well, if that's all I have, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's a good recap on SEMA this year. So, but I don't know if we mentioned, but on Fridays, SEMA is open to the public.
Oh, okay.
So they just started that last year. So it used to be open. You had to work for one of the industry companies. You had to be an employee of a company that was in the industry to go to the SEMA show. But now they're doing a Friday open to the public access thing. And also on Friday after the show, they do the after party, which is the SEMA Fest. They have some music concerts. All the show vehicles leave the convention center and they go out to a large parking lot right there close by, and the public can come by and see all the show vehicles and listen to the music and check that out. So if you guys have ever been interested in attending SEMA, you can finally do that now as a non-industry member.
Yeah, because it's like a 4-day event.
Yeah, so it's the show is Tuesday through Friday for everybody, and then for the industry people, and then on Friday they open it up to the public, which I think is cool because a lot of the enthusiasts have been wanting to go to the SEMA show for a long time and just hate that they couldn't go see all those cool vehicles.
Right.
So I actually like that they open it up. Fridays is usually kind of slow. All the industry people want to get in there early on Tuesdays and be the first ones in there to see everything.
Right.
So I've been there at the SEMA show, and on Fridays it starts getting a little slow. So I like that they open it up to people that want to come in and check it out and see all the new products. And I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, and it's great for the companies too, because it's more publicity and it gets people excited.
Yeah.
And they get to actually talk to the people that are going to be buying the thing at the end. Yeah. Right. Because they've been talking to all the dealers all week, that now they get to actually talk to the consumer. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a smart move. They started that last year. So I think it was a smart move to open it up to the public on Fridays.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right. Well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, our little short SEMA recap. And if you like this type of content, give us a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and thanks for watching.